Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our Venus in Revati Nakshatra video, which means this is our last video of Venus in Nakshatra. So after today, we're going to be sending out Venus into the eternity of digital web for however long it lasts. So yeah, today we're going to be doing Venus in the Nakshatra of Revati, and especially what happens when Venus is in the sign of Pisces, but especially from 1640 to 30 degree section of Pisces, which is known as Revati. And as always, if you do not know where your Venus is placed, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, and all the other astrological details, for that check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link. So, Venus in the Nakshatra of Revati. So, Revati is a story about King Kukundana. I think I'm pronouncing that right, King Kukundana, who was trying to look for the husband for her daughter, Revati. And nobody on this plane, on earth, on Bhuloka, was worthy of her. Okay, and he took her to, I think it was called Swargalok or some higher plane, to see if there's somebody worthy there. So what this transpires, in real life is that Venus in Revati person becomes extremely picky about who they want to be with in this life. Because remember, this is where Venus is also exalted at the 25th degree. So Venus's qualities are at its highest. Venus is about beauty, relationship, love, marriage, arts, media, creativity, music. And especially at its highest degree, the 25th degree, one becomes a natural musician. But in this particular nakshatra, it shows that a person will be very picky about who they want to be with. They will reject 20 people. A man will reject 20 girls. A girl will reject 20 best of the best. And still, they'll be unhappy and unsatisfied as to where is this perfect person. And I think I spoke about this many times in my videos of Venus and Venus exaltation, where I talk about Venus exaltation. As much as you think, Venus exalted, I'm going to be having the best of the spouse and best of this, you don't realize that when it comes to finding someone, you will not be satisfied for a long time. And this is due to this Puranic story related to Revati. The other thing that you will see, okay, especially if a man has Revati Venus, your spouse is going to be taller than you. She'll be taller in height with you because she's coming from a different yuga. And according to the Puranic studies, Puranic literature, Revati was transported into a completely different yuga, Kal Yuga, where men were short. Back in Satyug, according to them, people were 15 feet, 20 feet tall. So when she was transported to a new yuga, she was far taller than her husband. But the thing is, the reason why she came back to earth in a new yuga, because that's where Krishna was reborn. Krishna's brother was reborn. I think his name started with B, something with B. So only Krishna and her brother were worthy of, Revati's love, according to her father. And this is something you will find with Venus and Revati, is that your spouse's father, especially for a man, your spouse's father is going to be a very hard man to please. Very tough man to please. This is the thing that I've noticed with Revati Venus, especially for a man, that you have to do something. You have to achieve something to get the woman that you want. That's something I've noticed. For example, you love this girl. She loves you. You guys are ready to marry, okay? And you meet the father. And father and the family and her kind of like talk over. They want you, they like you, but father puts this small stipulation on you. He says, look, I know you have a good job with your degree and your work. However, I want you to get a master's degree first before I marry you, marry my daughter to you. So now the task is put upon you that, okay, I need to get a master's degree to get this girl. And you will try to accomplish that. Okay, I'll go get a master's degree. And you will do it happily because for some reason, for a Revati person, a Revati Venus, you want to get that particular person because they're so perfect, you know you will not find somebody as perfect as them. And naturally, your spouse will be a natural musician, a sculptor, writer, creative artist. Because look, Venus is at its highest form. Your spouse is going to come from a regal royal lineage. Even if you, let's say, are regular Joe, okay? You're a regular Joe, she's a regular Joe. And you guys get married. And here you're listening to this video that, oh, she's going to be coming from a royal background. And yes, she will be coming from a royal background. Because I'm not telling you to look one generation back or 2 generations back. If somehow you're able to go 12 generations back, number 12 becomes very, very important for Revati. 12, Revati represents the 12 different meanings of sun. So if you go 12 generations back in that person's lineage, they are coming from a royal bloodline. Something which is of very high status. Something which was respected in society. And the other thing that you will also notice is that your spouse will be strongly connected with saving animals. Saving animals, animals' rights. They always want to, adopt children or adopt animals and pets. They always want to sign up for against animal cruelty. They always are pledging to do this, to do that. And this is why, because Venus, devotion, is at its highest form, shows your spouse most likely will be a vegan or vegetarian. Your spouse wants pureness, purity. Now it's a completely different story with Uttara Bhadrapada or Purva Bhadrapada, the early part of Pisces sign. Revati represents the purity. And remember, Revati is occurring in a transition of water and fire, the Gandhanta point, where through the ocean of devotion, the fire will be transformed into fire. Meaning this Revati represents that ending. And when something ends, it'll turn back into the fire. This is why they said it keeps recycling. The yugs keep recycling, universe keeps recycling. And believe me, when people say universe is 8 billion years old, it is absolute nonsense. Just because scientists are not able to look far back enough. There are actually stars, not in the red zone, I will probably say in the black zone. You know how red, there's a blue burning stars and then the red phase stars. Red phase stars are far, far away. Which so far, it's only 8.2 billion years they have looked. They will realize at one point in a distant future that the universe is actually 108 billion years old. And it recycles. So once this water is done, the ocean dries up, there's going to be a fire and it's going to recreate everything. So what does this tell you with Venus and Revati? These people are very transformative people. They're able to transform life. They're transforming their career. Not because they're being forced to transform. It's because they're wanting to transform. And especially in the Revati side, see, Revati is the part where whenever sun is in Revati, it's when the crops are starting to grow. And due to this, Revati is known as one of the most abundant nakshatras of growth and wealth. So when Venus is in Revati, shows that your spouse is going to be bringing immense amount of wealth. So especially if you're a man, your wife will bring in wealth. If you're a female, the marriage itself will bring in wealth. Whether you start making money or the spouse starts making money. But there's great amount of abundance within the contexts of marriage. Now remember, this is simply the foundational level meaning of this nakshatra. We don't know which house Venus is in. Most importantly, we don't know which padha Venus it's in. What aspect Venus is getting. That will put the colors on this nakshatra even more. Then we can go into even far more details of what this Venus is doing. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of Venus and Revati Nakshatra. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your Venus is placed, all the other astrological details, my books, reports, consultations, check out the links here. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. I promise you. Okay? Bye-bye.